Greetings, Goddess Body, Mind, Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tirra-Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today is January the 19th. Oh my goodness, we have so much going on today. Let me look at my little astro calendar. I purchased one from an astrologer who I really like. Her name is Marina, Marina. She's with Mars Star Astrology, Mars. Yeah, Mars Star Astrology or something like that, Marina. You'll find her on YouTube. And I think this calendar costs $20, 19.99, and it basically gives you all the astrology for the year, and she sort of describes like on this day, this is what you're gonna be feeling and all that kind of good stuff. So I didn't even plan on saying that, but I'm all into letting people know what I use, so you can get yourself, on the straight and narrow path to your self realization and your self mastery, because that's what I'm all about. So January the 18th, I went over this with the people who are a part of my Patreon inner circle, because for some people they were like, girl, give me a weekly reading. I need to know what's happening week by week. So I'm like, I will help you out. And one of the things I do is go over what's going on with astrology. And I remember last week when I put the video together for them, thinking January the 18th is off the chain. And so, in astrology, it's all about what are the planets doing, how are they interacting with one another. It's almost like, seeing, two different personalities come together. And this is the kind of energy you're going to see when you see these two energies come together. So a fun energy for today is Venus trine Mars. Venus is getting along with Mars. I'm not going to give all the sciencey type stuff. Venus is getting along with Mars today, which means folks might be feeling like they want to go have a good time. Venus is feminine, Mars is masculine, so it might be you really doing some stuff to get along with the opposite sex today. It's a day where people might be feeling like, hey, I want a little love and romance, all that kind of good stuff. And part of the reason I came up with today's topic is because Venus is also about beauty. It's about our appearance. And Mars, we all know Mars is the same energy as Herakuti Ogun. And so it's about the machete, the sword. And I remember when Venus was in Scorpio, which is my rising sign. But Venus was retrograde. So like when Venus first came into Scorpio, she was sort of like covering the area that she was going to go back across. And so all the astrologers were saying, do not make any drastic changes to your appearance while Venus is in Scorpio. And so, especially for people who have like a lot of scorpionic energy. And so I just started feeling like I just want to cut off my hair. I want to cut off my hair. I used to wear a nice short natural. This is even before I cut my hair off for my Yemoja initiation. When I first went natural, when I first started growing out the perm, this was back in y'all getting a history lesson on Tirra-Omilade today. Back in 1994, because it was right before I got married. I went natural. I had like, my hair was like right there by my head. I would just go. My husband was my barber, so he would just trim me up, So I had a short, for real, natural before everybody was natural. But I've always looked good with short hair. And I actually here's another little tidbit, little fact on Tirra-Omilade. I've been dealing, I don't like owning stuff, with an OCD. Didn't even know I had an OCD since I was 14. Very, very stressed out. Very, 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 very stressed out. At that point in my life, as a little teenager or whatever. And one day I started pulling out my hair, and it's just something that I've always done. And the way I cure it is I cut off all my hair. Well, one year I was like, I don't want to cut off my hair. I want my dreadlocks. Uh, and because this is like my fourth, maybe fifth set of dreads. I've had so many dreadlocks because I shaved my hair off because I'm like, I can't stop pulling my hair out. And so, why did I tell y'all that? Anywho, I was feeling like I really wanted to cut off my hair. And, but I said, I'm not going to do it during Venus retrograde. Oh, and I think what I was saying was I've always been able to wear short hair. I look good with short hair. It's actually very curative for me. It helps me with this OCD that I have yet to shake, which I'm going to shake it. But I decided that I would just keep my dreadlocks for a little while longer because actually I really don't want to cut off my dreads. I just don't want to cut off my dreads. But I was just feeling like, because I have been struggling a little bit with my OCD and with this OCD issue I have. And so the other day, yesterday, I said, you know what? Because I did a reading. Should I? This is just sort of illustrating what I'm talking about today, using divination for life navigation. Because I did not want to cut off my dreadlocks, but there's a part of me, I was looking at this video, and it's so many of these young women, they're wearing their hair short, they're so fire. I'm like, oh my God, I want to get back to that. You know, I just love when I wear my hair short, it's so free. But there's a part of me that just doesn't want to give up my dreadlocks. And first of all, I've invested a lot of time and energy. These dreadlocks are like, it took like 4 or 5 years for me to get them out. And so yesterday was when we first started feeling this Venus, this harmonious, relationship with Venus and Mars. And a couple of days ago, I did a reading to ask, what's the advisability of me cutting off my dreadlocks? What's the advisability of me keeping my dreadlocks? And the reading was mixed. It was like, cut them and, keep them. It was like, you can cutting them off and keeping them. It was like, yes, but no. So I was like, what do I need to do? So I said, you know what? I'll just hold off for a little bit. So yesterday, without even remembering it's Venus trine Mars, I only made this connection as I was preparing for the next week's weekly reading. Venus trine Mars. Yesterday, I started trimming my dreadlocks. I started just snipping, cutting them shorter. And I'm feeling lighter without. I have just a couple, because right before I logged on, I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to cut off a couple of more. Not even that much, just a little bit. But I just feel this lightness. I feel a discharge. And also I'm sort of feeling like I'm not striving to have long dreadlocks. I might even go a little shorter if I want. And that way I get the best of both worlds. I'm actually thinking about shaving a little bit. My Venus is in Mars. I'm feeling like I want to just express my Venus and Mars a little bit more. That's why I love these women with these short haircuts, so fine, so strong. Okay, so that's another thing. That's one thing we have going on. We also have Mercury. This is today. Mercury is right there with Pluto. And so that's like having something that's about the mind meeting deep esoteric. It's like having the mind meet Oya. It's like having Oya infuse the mind with her wisdom of transformation, with her deep spiritual wisdom where you have to go into the darkness to get it. It's also like having the mind meet the energy of, we need to purge, we need to purify, we need to detoxify some things, we need to let some things go. What do we want to do? Do I need to how can I transform my mind? So they're right there together and they're infusing one another. So this is also a day where we may be feeling deep, transformative things regarding the mind. And this is all on the collective level. This is one of the things, and I guess I'll just sort of start talking about how we use divination for life navigation. It all sort of depends on your chart. This is one of the things I love about astrology, because you can make it so specific to your chart. But if you know how to use an oracle deck, like the Metanetter that I use, you can ask questions specific about, like, what area is this? Or with Meridian Lagoon, which I am not even close to being adept at, but you can still find out specifically which area am I working on, which area do I need to work on. Because for me, and again, today's topic is about life navigation using divination. For me, it's really about awareness. I keep bringing up this key to self mastery of awareness. And, another thing that we can talk about is mindfulness. I feel like divination helps us to be more mindful of what's going on, because so many of us are like ostriches. Our head is in the sand. And the way that looks varies from person to person. And so your head in the sand may look like you're watching a lot of TV. For me, I know in the past it's been social media. I've just been making myself feel like that's my job. I get on social media as a part of my job to a certain degree, maybe to see what's going on in the collective, but that's not how I'm trying to escape. Some people may put their head in the sand by being workaholics. They cannot face what's going on in their lives, so they just go to work and they 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 work. Some people put their head in the sands through addictions. It's a number of ways that we can put our head in the sand. But this month is all about empowerment. We talked about this year, actually, too, now that I think about it. This year is about empowerment. Whenever we're dealing with the energy of Capricorn, as much as Capricorns get on people's nerves, in the astrological chart, Capricorn is boss energy. It's what you're known for. It's status, okay? So it's really about leveling up. This is why Capricorn is so good, because in order to level up, you got to work hard. And sometimes you got to stick and stay and hold on when everyone else is telling you to give up on your dream, that destiny within you, where you're like, I just know this is what I was born to do. I'm not doing what the world told me to do. I'm spirit led. My spirit told me to do this thing. And no matter how much I bump and thump and fail forward, I just got to keep going. That's Capricorn. Most people who find themselves in a level of success that is like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm not talking ching ching. I'm talking personal satisfaction the day they die. They love the legacy that they left. It has nothing to do with money. Okay, some people's legacy might be they really made a lot of money and they showed other people how to do that. But it was really the work they did, the benefit that they left in the world, that they created in the world. These people worked long and they worked hard at what they did. Okay? So this Capricorn energy is about empowerment. This is the same energy as Sekert. This is about walking in our power, facing our fears, walking in our power. So we have to pull our head up out of the sand. And, ostriches have long necks. Yeah, they might take their head and put it down in the sand. But then when they pull that head up, out and stand up, that neck is long. Can see the vision. All right? And divination helps us to be able to sort of see what's going on. Because sometimes what we see with our eyes is not really what's going on. It's what's behind it. And that's what divination can help us do. And so when you're trying to figure out, okay, Mars is conjunct Pluto. If you don't understand astrology, sometimes all you have to do is just really take time to look at your life to see, where's my mind calling for transformation? Or wait a minute, I'm actually feeling exceedingly spiritual. Like I'm feeling some spiritual downloads going on. So when I sense that today, I'm going to allow myself to be quiet, to write things down so that I don't forget, you know? But then when you know specifically what's in your chart, then you'll sort of be able to see, okay, this is the area of life where I may be experiencing this. Okay? So, divination, using divination for life navigation is something that I have found really and truly leads to empowerment. And when things start shaking down, so let's see here. Today, Sun square Uranus. And this is what it says. And so this was like, we could have felt this starting on the 16th, and we may feel it until the 20th, which is around eclipse time and full moon time. But what Marina wrote is instability and uncertainty, impulsive decisions. People may act in a shocking way, sudden desire for change, desire to do something brand new, extreme risk, drastic changes about future plans, extremely untraditional and original ideas may come through. Could be on the collective, could be to you. So let's just think about this energy of Uranus. Like to me, Uranus, I'm like sort of scared of Uranus. I'm really at this place with astrology where I'm like, I love that I'm learning astrology, but sometimes I don't like knowing astrology because it's like, oh my God. But one of the things I told my one of my good friends that I talk to about astrology all the time is it is a guide. Okay, it is not a definitive. What am I trying to say? It doesn't. It's not definitive on exactly how this stuff will play out. It's just a guide. So when things pop off, we know what's going on. Maybe if I wasn't really in tune and I'm struggling with my hair, it would be either or. Either I'm going to keep the dreadlocks or I'm going to shave them off. But because of divination, I was able to find a nice compromise. So this Sun square Uranus, for those of us that know a little bit about astrology, we know things can really be popping off. Sudden changes. All of a sudden, you don't know, you're thinking one thing's going to happen and then something else ends up happening. So when we are allowing our life to be guided, or when we're using divination as a navigational tool in our lives, then we're sort of like not shocked by it. Oh, I knew this was something could have potentially happened. Now, the shocking thing could be something that turns out to be really good. I've seen shocking things happen. Let me tell you another thing. This Aquarius energy is no freaking joke about shocking. My husband is an Aquarius rising now. My husband is Christian. He ain't into all this stuff. But one day his mom mentioned his birth time to me. So I know his rising sign. He is the consummate Aquarius. The consummate Aquarius. Sometimes people wonder how we work this thing out. Once I figured out he was Aquarius, I was like, this is so Aquarius. We got this Christian pastor married to the Catholic who converts to whatever I am spiritually. And he's like, hey, it's all about equality, justice. Everyone deserves to, be who and what they are. So are we good? I'm like, yeah, we good. But I have witnessed the how with Aquarius things all of a sudden pop off. Like I remember he tells me that he got that these people came to him on his job. This was back in 2004. He said, hey, they've come to me and asked me, do I want to be over, like, it was a higher level, what do you want to call it? Leadership position, managerial type position, supervisory type thing. He's an attorney. So instead of having a city, they were giving him a region to be over. So he's over a region of attorneys for a state organization. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And he was like, yeah, we have to move in 2 weeks. I'm like, what? So we uprooted and moved in a 2 week span. No freaking lie. This is how things happen with my husband. We'll just plod along forever and ever and ever. Every day is the same because it's got that Saturn energy. And then all of a sudden, it'll be this big change. This is how things work with Aquarius energy. I witnessed this with a friend. She had been for years talking about, I want to buy my own home. We stopped even talking about it. We stopped doing divination on it. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I'm getting ready to buy a new house. I'm like, what? This There was nothing on the radar about her getting a new house. And then all of a sudden, because she's Aquarius rising. So this Aquarius energy, this Uranus is related to Aquarius. It can create things that happen like all of a sudden, it's like shock and awe energy. But it is the kind of energy that will allow you to, if you go with it, you're going in the direction you're supposed to go. And so, though today something may pop off for some of us, you got to know what is it for you. But if you know divination, if you use divination as a navigational tool for your life, then it puts you in the driver's seat just that much more. It puts you in a position of power just that much more. And it's really, I love how a lot of the astrologers describe it. It's giving you a forecast. One I heard talk about, you want to know, well, several of them that I think about it. You want to know what the weather is for the day. So that, especially like when we're in the mutable times, like the spring or the fall, you don't know if it's going to be cold or hot. And so the day may start off cold and it may get hot and then it may get cool again. And so you need to know the forecast so that you can be prepared if you're going to be outdoors, or, maybe you need to know in general what to wear to match the forecast so that you're comfortable. That's how I see divination. And so whenever I do readings for people, it's really to give them something to use as a navigational tool. It's something that they can use as things come up. The wisdom of the oracle, which is, it could be the Metaneter, the Meridian Lagoon, it could be astrology. When it pops up, this is how I've experienced it. When it pops up, I look at it through the lens of wisdom. This is what divination is all about. Divination stems from the energy of omniscience. And so you're no longer looking at what comes up in your life from the position of the limited human experience. You're able to look at what comes up in your life through the lens of wisdom. And it gives you a moment to take pause to say, what is the best response? What should I do? How should I approach this? The other thing that I find that divination does is it helps to make the big bad boogeyman in the room not look so big and bad anymore. I'm like, well, the oracle says A, B, and C. Okay, so here's one that I'll give. So if you're having a money issue and you got a reading from an Orisha priest or priestess, or, Babala Ianifa, and they say Obara. One of the things that Obara says is abundance is on the way. So when you get that kind of reading, if you're looking at your money and you're like, things are not adding up. I'm feeling like this is not working for me. No matter what presents itself in the physical, if you say Obara, Obara said abundance is on the way. First of all, it's going to create a shift in you where you're like, I'm not jumping into this I lack position. Because as soon as we jump into it, we become one with. If we jump into Obara, we become one with Obara. If we jump into fear of lack, we become one with fear of lack. Divination gives us options. Divination says, Obara, you say, okay, the universe provides. You have to shift yourself to the wisdom of Obara in order for you to, really embrace it and allow it to speak and move and operate in your life. Obara said abundance is on the way. You become one with it, and that makes you more open and receptive to receive that which you say you need, which is abundance. And the next thing you know, abundance shows up. How? I don't know. Obara said abundance is on the way. You open yourself up to receive it. Let the magic of the universe work for you, baby. So I have found that for me, lack of really understanding what the heck is going on was like the biggest impediment that I was experiencing. I was thinking even this morning, lack of proper mentorship early on in my life has been like a major downfall for me. And it makes me want to mentor people. It makes me want to cheer people on because I'm like, you know what? All you have to do is give somebody a good positive word to help people move along, you know? And so that's what divination provides for me on so many levels. It provides the mentorship that I need moment by moment almost. Because all I have to do is call up the wisdom that's speaking. And it's from whatever source you want to use. You get to choose what speaks to your heart, what will engage you. And once I began to have a handle on what energy am I working with, and I'm holding on to the wisdom, I'm in relationship with the wisdom. The wisdom is coloring my view of life. Then I began to notice that literally I am seeing results in my life based on what I desire. I am seeing results in my life based on me bowing down to the wisdom of the oracles. And that's something else that has to happen when we're using. So how many of us have used a GPS, and I'm so freaking guilty of this, have used the GPS and looked at the route like, you want me to do what? Turn where? I don't know if this GPS is right, you know? And then we find out the GPS was right. Now, I'm sorry. I don't like the GPS on Apple. That GPS, I just did not get good results with. I use Google Maps. But even with Google Maps, as much as Google Maps has been right, I still sometimes will just argue with like, you want me to do what? I got to go where? Turn which way? I'm not bound down to the wisdom of the GPS, which is connected to the freaking, like Earth, basically. Anywhere I go, I turn this GPS on. It knows where I am. And I'm not going to listen to it. Really, Tirra-Omilade? Really? And so that's what we have to learn how to do, is to bow down to the wisdom of the oracle. And that's why I said it doesn't define our lives, but it will guide us if we would but let it. If you are sitting at the foot of a wise spirit, a sage, why would we be talking? We need to open ourselves up to receive the wisdom and then use it. And once we use it, this is another way that I use it. I may not feel like, I may feel like, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about what you're asking me to do. But I'm just going to watch and see how this thing unfolds, because I'm telling you, I have no other solution. I have no idea what to do. So I feel like I may as well just go ahead and go what the oracle is saying to do. And next thing I know, I'm like, wait a minute, this is taking me exactly in the right place. I'm going to this is it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I feel like, when we use divination as in life navigation, when we're using it as a navigational tool for our lives, it allows us to be more aware. And I love the thing that I find the most with most people is most people need to be able to read their energy. If you can read your energy, then you can make conscious decisions about what to do. Most every teacher I know says you need to do a daily reading. And for the longest time I didn't. I think I've been doing a daily reading now. I don't know. Consistently, maybe a year. Maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, I remember there were times when I would do daily readings and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a weekly reading, which is good. It's better than no reading or whatever. I've gone long periods without divining much for myself. And it's not about all the time, I got to use an oracle for everything. I'm not attached to the tool. That's important to know. The tool is a guide. Okay, because I've gone through those periods where I'm like, okay, I need to sort of read my energy myself. But what I find is when I do a daily reading for myself, sometimes I'm like, okay, I definitely know that this is right because I woke up not in the right space. Or sometimes I look and I'm like so grumpy, but the oracle is like so positive. I'm like, really? You know? And sometimes I'm feeling like I am spiritually on top of the world. And the oracle, it'll be 2 negative cards. I'm like, what the frick? What? And so it gives me the opportunity to just prepare for whatever comes down the pipeline. And it will give me an opportunity to make a different choice. Whereas if I'm just in the moment of that thing, I'm having a situation, somebody's on my nerves or whatever, I can go back and think, okay, what did the oracle say this morning? What was my reading for today? Okay. So I'm gonna choose instead to see it this way. I tell everybody I'm not so much into clairvoyance as I am into just being guided by the wisdom. I wish I could see everything. I cannot. But typically, it's like the oracle gives us an opportunity to be able to, like I said, have choices to respond. Gives us options for how we're going to approach moment by moment, day by day, month by month, year by year, situation by situation. So I hope that this has helped. It's very stream of conscious, but that's what I like doing for some of my videos. And I really wanted to create this because as I am making these readings for the patrons in my Patreon inner circle, it's like, wow, this could be a little bit overwhelming, getting a lot of guidance from the wisdom, the oracle. And I want people to understand how to use it. If we use it from a place of consciousness, it literally becomes our guide. We become one with it, and we can ease our way through life, which doesn't mean that we're not going to have bad times. It just means that the bad times won't take us out. This is Tirra-Omilade, your goddess guru, hoping that this has assisted you in some way. Please like the video, share the video, and you may, if you're not getting updates about my videos on a regular basis, then you might have to click the bell and then click it again, because I'm learning from other like hardcore YouTubers that they change the algorithm. So just make sure you hit that bell and it says that you're going to get notifications, all notifications, if that's what you want. If you need divination, you can go to goddessbodymindspirit.com and go to my spiritual readings page and order a reading. And if you want to be a part of the Patreon Inner Circle, where my goal is to provide you with tools that will help you to be able to navigate your life and just to share spiritually so that we can continue to grow and feel more in alignment with our destiny, you can go to patreon.com/goddess body mind spirit and join there at whichever level works for you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, this Friday, January the 18th, is off the chain. Let me know which aspect I talked about are you feeling the most. As y'all can see, Mars or Venus trine Mars. That was mine for today.